You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
It can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need, or everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
Thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer video. There's a whole bunch of new footage. We see way more Kang the Conqueror, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos, because obviously this is meant to set up Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. Pretty much all the dialogue, or most of the dialogue in the trailer, takes place in that conversation that we saw bits of in the last trailer, where Scott Lang is meeting Kang for the first time, and he's kind of lying to him, but then kind of revealing who he is. He's trying to convince Scott Lang to help him steal something that will help him complete his time platform that he can't just get himself. Because the whole idea is that he's stuck in the quantum realm, otherwise he would have escaped a long time ago. He needs something that only Scott Lang can steal, probably because if he tries to steal it, then he'll wind up dying, and he doesn't want that. In order to do that, he holds Cassie Lang hostage. Obviously, you see her in her Stinger gear. We see a bunch of Kang in his full-on comic book uniform. You see him take off and then put on the blue mask, and the way they're explaining the blue face from the comics is that it is just part of his mask. But you notice when his mask goes away briefly, like he takes his mask off, his eyes stay blue briefly, and it's the same blue energy that he's giving off in Blast when he's shooting Ant-Man when he's in his full comic book costume. There are a couple different types of portals that you see. The whole idea is that his technology is based on quantum energy, just like the TVA's portals, because he created the TVA. It's the same technology that PIM particles are made of that they used in Avengers Endgame to do their big time heist. But it sounds like Ant-Man figures out pretty quickly what's going on with him, and then he just flat out tells him, unless you help me, I will basically end all of your existence. With Janet Van Dyne sort of tying things to Larger's Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty in the Loki series with the timelines talk. He can change the timeline, he can change existence, basically by altering the past and the future. He can erase timelines, talking about more timelines from the Loki series. Just starting with the footage at the beginning of the trailer, when they get out of the car, they're at the celebration here on the red carpet, it's because when the events of the movie pick up, Hope Van Dyne has started to use PIM particles to cure world hunger, like she's growing food, literally larger to cure world hunger, and they're celebrating that. He specifically references the Avengers because Ant-Man tries to make himself seem real big, like, I'm an Avenger, you should watch out for me. But the whole joke being is that part of Kang's dialogue is, oh, you're an Avenger, have I killed you before? Because the whole idea is that during the Kang Multiverse War, he faced many versions of the Avengers and killed all of them. This is just a scene of Scott Lang falling into the quantum realm and landing for the first time, it seems like. When Kang starts talking about losing time, he's referencing the time that he's lost because he's been stuck in the quantum realm and time moves there differently, so he's been stuck there for a long time. But the whole idea is that Scott Lang lost 5+ years that he was stuck in the quantum realm. That's why he whips out his phone and he has the picture of the young Cassie Lang on it, because he basically missed Cassie growing up. He picks her up at the police station because she's been getting in trouble. She's a chip off the old block. She wants to become a scientist just like he is. He's an engineer, if you didn't realize that. They just use him for comedy in most of the movies, so you don't really pick up on that sometimes. Since Avengers Endgame, she's been reading through a lot of Hank Pym's journals and all of their scientific journals, and that's how she created the quantum signaling device that alerts Kang to their presence and allows him to pull them into the quantum realm. Kang is the person who pulls them in when she turns on the beacon. And like I said, as he starts talking to him, Kang starts to appeal to him like, look, I can help give you more time. And it sounds like for just a hot second, Ant-Man considers helping him in order to get that time back, quote unquote. But the whole idea is that you never trust villains in the Marvel Universe. They're never going to do what they say they're going to do. We see him with the mask on, you see the blue face, and they show you that it is just energy. We see a much bigger shot of what seems like his version of Chronopolis down in the quantum realm. I think that they're going to say that this is a version of comic book Chronopolis. They kind of use the TVA in the same way during the Loki series. Chronopolis is basically like the city that he rules over when he is the Immortus version of his character. That's like him at the end of his timeline, so obviously they're mixing and matching a lot of things from different parts of Kang's storyline in the comics. When Janet Van Dyne starts making all the Loki Easter eggs, the Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty Secret Wars Easter eggs about Kang changing all of reality, changing time, erasing timelines, you see what looks like a portal reaching out of the quantum realm. Like he's building this giant device, and the entire device is like a huge transformer, his entire time platform that will help him win the Kang Multiverse War. And it just sounds like this Kang variant wants to use the quantum realm, and all the other variants of Kang that are vying for control in the Kang Multiverse War are trying different methods. There's been rumors that in Avengers Secret Wars, we're going to see a version of the Beyonder that's another Kang variant wielding different types of power. Because the Beyonders are extra-dimensional beings, the power that they wield is completely different. One of the other big things too is that when you see the rings come up, you see the etchings, like the carvings and the markings on the rings. They look just like the markings on Shang-Chi's 10 rings and just like the markings on Miss Marvel's bands. So Kang might have been the person who created the 10 rings, and he might have created both of Miss Marvel's bangles. When they start talking about timelines, you see the multiple versions of Ant-Man. Later, you see a big pile of them, like this is an army of Ant-Men reaching one of them up onto the platform here. I guess you could think of them as variants, but they might not be full-blown variants. But we've been making jokes about how Ant-Man is going to die in this movie. This would be how they wind up killing a whole bunch of them. We see another portal in this same red energy area. It looks like the wreckage of one of Kang's older ships or some other place where he takes Ant-Man to go steal something for him. The beings behind him that are escorting Cassie Lang with the blue masks on, like Kang's mask, are just members of his army. The other big thing you'll notice here, zoom in enhance, we finally see a version of MODOK. MCU MODOK is actually just Darren Cross. He's been transformed into MODOK somehow. Because they're with Kang here, maybe Kang is the person that turned him into MODOK. I believe during the movie he's supposed to be both a villain and wind up helping them as well. And I don't think that he dies at the end of the movie. I think he escapes and winds up in future Marvel movies. You can let me know what you think this special energy is that they're looking at, this red energy, but it seems like this is something that Kang wants for his device. Ant-Man looks like he's diving into some area to get whatever it is that Kang needs, and there's this giant organism that's just part of the quantum realm. This is just one of the organisms down in the quantum realm that it seems like Janet Van Dyne uses so that they can get around. Like, she's lived there for so long, she knows way more about the quantum realm than any of the others. There's a lot of life forms that are either stuck down there or evolved down there and are just naturally members of the races that live there. Like I said, this scene makes it seem like these bands are the exact same as Shang-Chi's 10 rings in Miss Marvel's bands, or at least they have the same markings on them. So that might be where the signal was coming from in the Shang-Chi post-credit scene. The signal was acting as a beacon into the quantum realm, back to Kang, because the pattern of the energy here looks like the pattern of the energy when they zoom in enhanced on the 10 rings. It looks like Ant-Man is using the army of his copies here to try and destroy this so that Kang can't win. This just seems like another one of Kang's portals. Then they have the tag scene where they say, prepare for a new dynasty. That's obviously a reference to Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty, and this army will be one of the ones that they face during that movie. Like, the whole idea, I think, is that Kang winds up escaping at the end of this movie, and they face him later during Marvel Phase 6 and Avengers 5. The way that one of these Ant-Man copies dies, turning to ribbons, kind of reminds you of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, with Scarlet Witch taking out Mr. Fantastic, turning him into spaghetti, basically. It looks like he winds up having an old-fashioned knockdown, drag-out fight with Kang and Cassie Lang standing there watching them. They have a full-blown fight with his comic book uniform on. He starts blasting him with his blue energy. This is just a much wider shot of his time platform / Chronopolis. Like, I think the entire structure here is both a city to his army, but also the entire thing is his time travel platform. And just like we see an army of Ant-Man versions, this is an army of Wasp versions, like there's an army of wasps behind her. When he says, I didn't have to win, he just had to make sure that they both lose, I think the idea is that he's trying to sacrifice himself and also kill Kang in the process. But obviously, I don't think they're going to kill off Ant-Man during this movie for good. They're just going to make it seem like he dies, with the idea that Kang also does not wind up dying. Love the shot that they end on too, with him blasting the frame with blue energy with his mask on, like full-on comic book Kang the Conqueror. Obviously, there's a whole bunch going on in this footage, so I'll do a couple more Ant-Man videos this week, but if you spotted anything in the trailers that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. Everyone click here for my other Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer video with different footage, and click here for my new Deadpool 3 and Wolverine video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.